to Knits, Hooks, and Needle. I am Ashley, and I first of all want to apologize for being gone for so long. I had to take some time away for a mix of reasons. I had a lot of medical stuff going on, not just with family, but with myself. And so I had to take time away to take care of that and feel like I could come back and start doing this again. But either way, I'm still sorry that I was gone for, oh gosh, a while. I think it's been since just before December. And as you can tell, I have not really continued on with what I was doing. So this is the Bucilla Nostalgia Baseball. I am forgetting the size of it right now, like right off the top of my head. It has, I do a mix of, royal columns and parking. I'm sorry. Took me a second to think of it. And this was designed by, Lisa Gillum, and I still am not sure if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Anyway, it is the day after the time change, and that hasn't totally bothered me as much as the fact that I have been, let's see, do I make sure to get that out? Not having the best sleep for the past couple of days. So it's not really the time change itself. It's just, other stuff going on. If I can get this back in there. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need this. Oh, now to get back into the swing of filling out colors again. I still cannot find for the life of me, even though I have done a lot of cleaning through a bunch of stuff. I still cannot seem to find my favorite pair of scissors. I'm not sure why they just keep disappearing. It's kind of like, they do it on their own accord. But anyway, I'm so sorry I was gone for so long. One thing I will mention is that I do suffer from migraines. And so I do take medication for it. I take a preventative. And then I take I'm forgetting what they call it. An abortive is what they call it. An abortive medication for migraines. And so my preventative I take every single day. I take it at night because it also helps with insomnia and depression at the same time. So it's kind of like a triad of ailments that it actually helps out with. And so far it's been doing great. I started taking it just after July, I believe. No, sorry. I've been taking it for well over a year, and the dose had gradually increased over time. But it was after July of last year that I decided I was going to change my diet. I already ate pretty healthy. I've always been that way. But I decided to change to a very specific diet. Make sure we're on here. So we're on 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have this. Okay, cool. Oh, give me a second, my neighbor. Okay, I'm back. My neighbor next door is moving. I gotta get resituated. She's moving today, and so I've actually acquired a few items from her in the process. Not to go totally off topic from what I was on before, but yeah, I've gained a few new items from her. I'll bring this up a little. Such as a small desk for my son. And it came with a chair, nice office chair. So I decided I'm going to use the office chair instead of the chair I was using before, because I needed something that was a little bit kinder on the lower half of my body, because I do suffer from aches from the lower back down. And then I just put my other chair, which will eventually also get traded out, in my son's room along with the desk. So now he has a new desk, and hopefully he's surprised when he gets home. And then I got some new potting soil. Not new, it's used, but you know, for me it's new. Because I do plant stuff. I didn't last year, but I'm hoping to again this year. I just want to be able to grow a few things. What else? Oh, kind of like a, what do you call it? Kind of like a buggy type deal for groceries, or, you know, maybe I could use that for the laundry. I'll probably end up using it for the laundry for the most part. Then that way I don't have to carry everything down. So it's, you know, and I offered her some extra boxes that I happen to have that I use for collecting stuff that we're going to donate. Because I have I call it my running donation box, because it's always in a very specific spot. And even now, like, while I've taken tons and tons and tons of stuff to donation, there's already some stuff in it that I'm going to donate, but I have all these other boxes that I'm probably going to use for extra items, because sometimes even with my medium to large box, I get like a lot of stuff in there. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So I changed to the, well, at first it was the, it's called the migraine diet. I was aware of a website called The Dizzy Cook while I was in college, because I did a project, my final project, on a blog about the sociological aspects of having migraines. And I came about in my research of finding this website called The Dizzy Cook. I can't remember the lady's last name, but her first name's Alicia. And she suffered, and still somewhat suffers from, you know, migraines that leave her very, very dizzy. And that can happen. And so she talks about her journey and the foods that have helped. Now, I want to put a disclaimer for anybody listening that there's like mixed studies of this specific type of diet helping with migraines. Some say yes, it definitely works. Other ones say, oh, there's no proof that foods that don't belong with the, I think it's the 5 C's, which is chocolate, caffeine. Oh, I can't remember some of the other ones. I know that there's chocolate, caffeine. Oh, I can't remember what the other ones are, but foods that start with a C that have been known to cause migraines, and chocolate and caffeine being 2 of them. So it goes beyond that. And so I tried that for like about 3-4 months, and I felt like there wasn't enough recipes. I mean, I'm sure there are, but I also have to be picky with the fact that I have another person in the house that has food that they can't eat, such as dairy and eggs. So I kind of have to make exceptions for that to not have it in there. And then I slowly started to, in like directly after I had this very severe migraine that put me into the ER, not urgent care, but the ER. Oh, that one came up. Yep, it did. I'm gonna have to rethread it. But yes, it put me in the ER, and it wasn't fun. They had to, you know, not just put an IV in me, but put They had to put me through the CAT scan. So it's my first time doing that. And that's an interesting experience. But they put me in there just to see if my blood vessels were okay. They were actually worried that I was having like a brain bleed, which I wasn't. And they do that when it's the worst migraine ever. And this one was pretty close to it. I would say now, if I were to put it in order, I think that would probably be my second worst migraine. Not my first one, because I was actually by myself for the entire time. I had no way to leave the house to go get help. So this one would be the second. But ever since then, I slowly started to decrease caffeine by like 10% every week. And I did it on a Friday, because Fridays I just remember stuff better. And so I took the caffeine brand that I had to do a little bit of research to find out how much caffeine was in that particular brand. And then calculated pretty much by tablespoons of how much coffee I was going to be removing from my cup. And so I did this so gradually that by the time I went from, full caffeine to half calf, I was doing like half calf, like half a cup of half calf, half a cup of full coffee, kind of mixing it, because then that way I could definitely gradually decrease the amount of caffeine I was having. And I did that. Let me see. Let's go straight. So yeah, okay. I did that down to where then it was like a half cup of, like half calf, half a cup of decaf. And then finally going down to like half a cup of decaf and half a cup, in a totally different cup, of herbal tea. And then eventually I was completely on herbal tea. I've actually been doing better. I only do maybe caffeine once in a while. But I really don't crave coffee the way I used to. I'm not as worried about it. And then like around, I think it might have been December, is when I decided to switch from the migraine diet to the Mediterranean, because the creator of Daisy Cook mentioned that she had actually started on that one and then went to a different diet. Mine was kind of backwards. It was the migraine diet and then to the Mediterranean. And I just basically omit the foods that are on the migraine diet that do trigger me out of there. Most recently, that was tomatoes, sadly enough, because I like tomato soup. I like tomatoes in my salad. But the buildup of, just having tomatoes would have, over the, 3 days after having it and stuff, it would cause a migraine. Not very big, but just enough that it was noticeable. And I've been on that now, gosh, since December, and it's been going really well. Last month I only had 3 migraines. This month I've only had one so far. That was last week. I had a really, really strenuous day that day too, though. And so that's why I've been gone. Part of the reason why I've been gone for so long, I had to take care of myself, because I wanted to be able to get up and do these videos, get up and do my Twitch streams, and not feel like I was going to deprive any viewers of what they were there for. And then in January, and trying to come back, I started to use some of my UXR skills to track my daily activities, not just for the migraine part, but also to try to figure out my energy levels so that I can get the most done that I want and try to achieve some goals that I have set. Even though I'm about the most busiest type person you will meet, I don't really get a whole lot of, me time. I don't really have a social life, so like that's not going to be an issue. Got some. Sorry, it wants to go in a knot, so I'm going to have to cut off a little bit. And so I did that, found out what my, just not by really being picky about what I was doing, but just generally going off whatever, found out how long certain things took me to do. And I kept like a really detailed chart and was writing a journal entry every day. At least I tried. The things that we can't do because we get so busy, and yet we did it when we were younger like it was nothing. And so I found out, how to try to create a base schedule, as I call it, of how to, take that base schedule and alter it for specific days. Like, hey, I have an appointment that day. Or maybe my energy tends to wane certain days of the week. So far it's helped. And then I didn't really get back into it in February. I was just kind of tired after keeping track for a whole month, like 30 days. It took a lot of energy out of me just tracking stuff. I know it sounds so silly, but I've now been back to tracking stuff after creating my base schedule. And on top of that, I'm even keeping track of how long it takes me to do chores. This sounds quite insane, and I don't disagree. But it has been helping me to lower my stress levels, because then I have this better idea of how my activities play into not just my energy levels, but in my migraines. And, and then after getting all that worked out, I decided, okay, I'm going to figure out, like just a starting point of, what I could do with my videos, and maybe, try to get back into my blogging, because I've taken so much time off of doing that as well. So far, yeah, it's been going good, but it's still a work in progress. I'm still trying to get everything figured out, but it's helped. It really has. But that's one of the reasons why I was gone for so long. It's because I was just trying to work on me, and that took a lot of time and energy. And I still plan on keeping the videos a little bit short, mostly so that, it helps with my energy. And I will be doing longer videos, of course, when I do Twitch streams, which I need to really keep track of time for that too, because they generally recommend, based on your, activity and the people that view you, how long to be on for. I think for me it said like 2 hours each session. And then some people, it will say, oh, your recommended stream time is 4 hours. Well, not everybody can be on for 4 hours. If you can, that's great. You probably have less worries and responsibilities throughout the day. Maybe you have more time than other people. The rest of us kind of have to just take it as a good suggestion and, go with what works for us. But other than that, yeah, it's been kind of slow. I know in another video, I'm thinking about doing one YouTube video a week for each of my crafts. I'm thinking I might have to actually record them on Sunday, or maybe Saturday, later in the night at Saturday, so then I have a chance to edit everything, and then on Mondays go back to some of the activities I want to have planned for Mondays only that don't get recorded, obviously. Because I don't think I could do that activity that, that brings me peace and record and edit in one day. That's just a lot of stuff for me. So I'm going to be rechanging my schedule again. I hope you can bear with me on that one. I think we can go back. And I know this video is going to be kind of blah because, I'm working with white and white. It's just so hard to see on the video. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to do, let's see if I can do it. Went back to one of my old tactics of, you know, threading underneath, which I don't mind, but it does create that bump. I was going to do, see if I can find my thing. My son actually played with one of my, this hook here to do some stuff, and I just told him make sure you put it back where it was, because I do use that for my crafts. I don't want to lose it. But yes, next week I'm going to try to get everybody caught up on my other projects. The crochet, which I made my daughter, my oldest daughter, a really pretty like granny square sweater that she could wear definitely in the spring because it's light enough for it. I'm still working on my son's big mandala blanket, and I actually had to frog the knitting project that's in previous videos of that, you know, streamline tee. I had to frog it several times because I was getting a few mistakes in it, and I didn't want it to be, I'm going to end up wearing it. I don't want to have that many mistakes. If it's one or two here and there, that's totally fine. But I just didn't want that many mistakes. So I frogged it like 3 times, and I was almost done 3 times. It was, oh, I've had to teach myself patience with that one. And at the same time too, I actually just barely started another crochet project. So I finished one and I'm working on 2. One of the 2 is pretty much halfway done. The other one I just barely started. And it's actually going to be a little sweater. I know it's like an awkward time of the year, but it's the one thing I could think of making for my nephew. So I hope he likes it. It's going to be a surprise there. I don't get the chance to see him very much. We don't live in the same state. And so I hope he likes it. So yeah, I'll have to get caught up with that. And like other Mondays, I'm going to try to post on Mondays and then work out a schedule of doing, you know, tutorial videos of just learning different stitches. I know those can take a little bit of time. I think a couple of my favorite YouTubers that do crafting and they show, hey, this is how you do like a seed stitch in knitting, or this is how you do, oh, like similar to cables in crochet. You can, it's done very differently than it is with knitting. You know, I want to get back into doing those. Of course, that will require me making sure I keep track of all my activities, so then I know better of where to fit that in. I know it sounds rather type A, I guess. I'm not exactly a type A. I do actually suffer from, and I did not really believe this. I didn't think it was possible until I had to do like an emotional intelligence course at my college. It just kind of went with the degree I got. It was just like some of the classes. So in the end, I got this micro certificate, or what do you call it? Like a micro credential in emotional intelligence. I can't remember why or where or what the assignment was, but we got to learn about any flaws that we have that we can work on. And it's not meant to make you feel bad. It's just to say, hey, this will help improve your emotional intelligence quota. I did that different again. That's okay. And I come to find out that I actually have what is called socially prescribed perfectionism. But it's not like with everything. It's more that, you know what, I could have just dragged that over. It's okay. I'll just, well, shoot. You know what? I could. Hold on. It's more that, like, how I come across to others when it comes to my home. I know that sounds crazy. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's not clean enough. I'm going to get like some weird comment. Or, you know, when it comes to inspections from my landlord, because we get those twice a year. And also I get an extra one every year. So I get a total of 3 every year. The other one coming from the company that I'm actually going through training for, having to make sure my home is cleaned so that I can continue on with the job of home health care. I'm not going to go into any of that as to why I'm doing it or anything, but I will say that, you know, right now I'm getting training with that for my job. I'm just going to put this right back. See what, yeah, I brought it up there. I'll just go down here because it's closer. Okay. And see, does it go? It does. Okay. I'm just going to have it go to where, you know, I'll have to go up this way. But yeah, so I get this kind of anxiety from having my place look a very specific way. You know, and passing inspections, like it quite literally stresses me out. And when the time comes that we have to go through doing that, I so meticulously plan the cleaning sessions that I end up not only giving myself a headache, but then I get stressed enough that when the inspection's done and over with and I pass, which, I mean, I've never failed before anyway, but I get so stressed that I actually stop cleaning for like a good 2 weeks. Like, it won't get nasty or anything. It's just like, I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to do basics. I'm going to do dishes, garbage, cat litter, vacuuming. But other stuff, I'm like, well, and I touch up the bathroom. But other stuff like washing windows, for example, I just won't do. So, oops. So, we have that, go down to here. So, sorry, I'm going to count. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, not this one. But we go up here. Okay. Yeah, so 2, right? Yep, 2, 2, 3, and 3. Okay, so I had to make sure I count. Anyway, yeah, and so when I took the test, I was like, I don't have socially prescribed perfectionism. What do you mean? That makes no sense. And I was kind of in denial, and then I started reading up on what it was, you know, and how it can manifest differently in other people. And I was like, oh my gosh, I do have this problem. And it's not, it doesn't get to the point where it interferes with my life on the daily, just regularly is what I'll put it. And that was another reason why I decided I was going to start tracking what I did, is because not only did it help with my stress that caused migraines, but it reduced my stress of anxiety, of being constantly worried and tired and feeling like I had to do so much. And so that's another reason why I did it. But yeah, so it takes a lot for me to or not too much, I guess you could say, to get into that state of mind. And actually, it was recommended that I started tracking stuff. And since I do have a certificate in UXR, which is user experience research, which for the most part is used for not just studying people and how they use like apps, for example, but for services that people go through. You can use it for creating a product or service. So it's really good for business as well, not just apps. But since I have the certificate in that, I used my skills and knowledge of how to conduct research on myself, which was interesting. And that's why I also journaled, is because I'm reading my journal entries and gleaning information from that. So you can tell I've been busy for the past couple of months, not just because of migraines, but because I needed to feel like I had a little bit more control of my anxiety and stress. Not that I will never not be anxious and stressed, but hopefully to have it reduced. And let me see. That's a darker color, right? No, it's the same color. Kind of looks different though, doesn't it? Do you have, hold on real quick. I'm not trying to be in the way here. Okay, so it's down from this way. So we go down. Oh, there's a little halfie right there, isn't there? There is. So here, and then there's a halfie here. 1, 2, 3. Or no, 2. Then over here, and over here. And I'm thinking that since, and I'm gonna have to put I'm gonna have to find my little marker. I think I know where I got that. So you go down 2, halfie, 1, 2, over. Okay. Oh, okay, I see where that came from. I think I could do it just with this right here. I need to find my little thing again too, but I think I'll just do that. If I come across it, then that's okay. I'm just gonna make sure I'm reading my chart correctly. And if you hear some jibber jabber in the background, my middle child is home, just hanging out on the computer and doing their own thing, you know. Yeah, see, that is the right color. So I think I'll just save the trouble and use it this way. I hope everybody else has been having a good first day after the time change. I've never really been affected by it. Just never. I don't know. I guess I'm weird that way, but I've just never been affected by it. And I hope others, you know, if they are affected by it, aren't too bothered, you know. I think I'm gonna have to see. I might have to cross stitch over this one with another. Oh, you know what though? I think I'll do this since I don't have a lot of colors in that area. Oh crap. Oh well. You know what? That's fine. We should be okay. I hope everybody had, like, you know, I know that there was like some flooding and stuff over in Missouri during the winter, and I hope everybody there is doing okay. With all this weather going on, I hope everybody's just doing good. You're having a good Monday. I know Mondays can be not our favorite days because we're still not recovered from the weekend, But thank you for watching. I am going to try to keep these videos a little bit shorter like I had before because I noticed that they fared a lot better. I'm still so sorry I was gone for so long. And remember to stay hydrated. Drink your tea, drink your water, drink your juice that you made at home, or even if it's from the store. And be mindful of yourself. Bye.